Can a house be alive? Is there like a dark energy that can attach itself to a certain place? I'm not sure, but I'm gonna tell you what happened and you let me know what you think because I'm still freaking out about this. My friend and I drive around a lake quite often because traffic here is a constant. We often find ourselves on smaller streets, which are basically a highway if you run all the stop signs. One day we were driving home from an event and we found ourselves on what I can only describe as the most beautiful street I've ever seen. It was a little secluded and filled with the most extravagant mansions. And we're suckers for pretty things, so since we didn't have anywhere else to go that night, we decided to pull over and walk down this beautiful street and admire all of the architecture. And on the street there was a house that really stood out. It looked abandoned and broken down and it did not fit the expensive vibe of the street. And we were so certain that this house was abandoned, so being nosy, we decided to walk into the front lawn and try to see through the windows. Curiosity killed the cat for a reason, guys. All the windows on the first floor were boarded up, but I swear I saw a silhouette of a child on the second floor looking at us. But before I could tell my friend what I saw, the front door swung open, making both of us jump. The inside of the house was completely dark, so we were trying to focus our eyes on the darkness coming from inside. All of a sudden, we see an old man walk onto the front porch. He was tall and skinny, but still rather tall for his age. He immediately gave me the uncanny valley vibes, like his face looked human, but something was off and I couldn't put my finger on it. He looked at us and said, "Are you here for the open house? You're very late. I was about to leave." And my friend and I quickly glanced at each other and give each other the look. It was the yes, we're doing this kind of look. So then I turned back to this man and I say, "Yeah, so sorry, you know, we were checking out some other houses in the area and we ran really behind schedule." He said that he needs to make a run around the house and turn on all the working lights so we wouldn't hurt ourselves, and told us to check out the backyard while we wait. The backyard was surprisingly small compared to the rest of the house, but the basement was left exposed. There was graffiti on the walls, randomly boarded up rooms, a bathtub, and mummies. And I wish I was kidding, there were two literal mummies leaning against the walls of this empty, creepy room. And no, we did not go into the basement because, well, it's creepy, but also the old man called us over since the house was ready. As we followed the man inside, he started rambling about his life, saying that he's gonna die soon and how he wants to sell this house to get some extra cash. And this house was terrifying. I mean, every nerve in my body was telling me to leave, but you know, we were too committed to the bit at that point. And everything was going relatively smoothly until the man disappeared around a turn. I mean, one second he was there and the next, he's not. It was like he vanished into thin air and we were left alone in an empty hallway in a broken down house. And our immediate thought was to leave as soon as possible, so we attempted to retrace our steps. But no matter which turn we took, we could not find the door out. We were aimlessly walking around the house at that point, going up and down the stairs, hallway to hallway and room to room. And we knew the house was old and worn down, but it was way worse than we thought. There were chunks of missing walls and floors, so many pipes were left exposed, and there wasn't a lot of furniture in the house, and the one that was there was very odd. Like, this one room only had a chair and a table right in the middle of it, and another room had a bunch of vases and a cage. At some point, we found a staircase leading up, but it was boarded up with a sign saying "Danger, do not enter." And I don't know if you guys have ever heard the expression impending sense of doom, but that's the only way I can describe how we felt at that moment. At that point, we started to feel a bitter, rotten smell, and it followed us for the rest of the night. We were extremely unsettled. It seemed like the hallways were moving behind us because every time we turned around, a new room and turn would appear. And at this point, we were considering climbing out the window. All the windows on the first floor were boarded up, so our only choice was to find one on the second floor. And so we began our quest to find the easiest window to climb out of. And as we walk into another pitch black room using our phones for flash, we see a little girl standing right in the middle of that room. She didn't look particularly scary herself, but it was the setting in which we found her. And after looking at us for a second with her eyes wide open, she goes, "You need to leave now. He doesn't like you." So we're like, okay, your grandpa doesn't like us. We don't know why, but we're very down to leave. We just can't find the exit. The girl responds with, "Yeah, he likes to keep people in." This girl offered to lead us out, so following her was our only choice. As we're walking behind her, entering another new hallway, we started to hear occasional knocking coming from around us. This knocking was pretty loud and it was coming from all around us, including walls, rooms, and even from beneath us, as if someone was punching on the ceiling below. After asking this girl what's going on, she gave us a pretty confusing and unsettling answer. She said that the house is getting old and it will die without us. She said that the house will keep taking people who buy it and not let them leave. She kept mentioning how her dad started acting weird when he bought the house and then he got sick. She said, and I quote, that her dad will die soon anyways, but this way others won't die with him. Okay, I mean, what? My friend and I were a little too freaked out at that point, so we didn't even think to ask any follow-up questions. We did ask her if she was okay and if she needed us to call the police or something. She assured us that she was safe, but she's not supposed to be inside the house, so we can't tell anyone that she was there, especially her dad. And we did ask her where her dad was because we didn't want to leave her alone on the street, you know? She said that the dad was with us a second ago, but at this time, every night he's usually in the basement. Again, we were too freaked out to ask any follow-up questions, but I was a little shocked that the man who I thought was her grandpa was actually her dad. The age did not line up. Finally, the girl let us outside and went to go hide in her dad's car. Before we left, we asked her one more time to make sure she's okay, and she said that she's completely fine. She does this pretty often, apparently. Just as we were about to go back to our car, she said, "By the way, don't respond to the knocks. It remembers your faces." We were a little confused by that statement, but we were a little too freaked out to stay there any longer, so we ran back to the car. We quickly learned why this girl warned us. On our ride back home, we started to hear loud knocking coming from the trunk of my car. Then on our way up to my place, we heard loud knocks coming from outside the elevator. And for the next week, we would get random knocks on the doors inside and outside of my place, like on cabinets, on doors, on closets, and even on like windows, floors, and ceilings. And for the next week, we felt so bad. It's like all of the energy was drained out of us. It felt like the world's worst hangover that lasted a freaking week. After the week, the knocking started to disappear and we slowly started to feel better. But to this day, I can't fully process what happened that night. What do you think it was?